Hello again. Okay, so I have a lot to talk about today. For starters, happy Thursday. Let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. I would say that my low was yesterday. We actually got hit with some, I wouldn't say bad weather, but I definitely needed to be careful driving home. My high is we got 3 new episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, as well as season 13 of The Masked Singer, which is awesome. Can't believe that, Masked Singer, guys, is back already. Holy cow. And my act of kindness was bringing in the garbage for my parents yesterday. Oh, did I do anything else? I don't think so. Oh, yeah, I brought in the garbage for my parents. So, I guess I could talk about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man since right now I'm holding Spider-Man. So, actually, I feel like I hold on like this because if I hold on to it like this, I don't want people to get the wrong idea for some things. So, actually, it's a little, I hold like this, I guess. It's dangling. I can do that. Yeah, I'll just, actually, I'll do this. Yeah. It perfectly balances right on there. Actually, can I balance? No, can't. Okay. Alright, so it seems that for shows like this, like Beware the Batman. Sorry, what was that Batman show that came out last year? I can't believe I forgot what it's called. But with these new superhero shows coming out, like that Batman show that came out last year, as well as My Adventures with Superman, they seem to be following a formula in which each season is 10 episodes, and to their credit, they do tell a very cohesive story in 10 episodes, but it's right around episodes 6, 7, 8, where they really like to pile on what I refer to as the totally screwed. And Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is no exception. And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad formula to follow at all, because again, you need to be able to tell a cohesive story. You can't have a good story without conflict, so it works. I'm not complaining. It's just something I picked up on. Although, there are plenty of experts out there who could definitely pick up on that stuff a lot better than I can. So, Lord knows how much sooner they got it. So with that said, as of right now, Lonnie is getting really deep with the 110 gang. Even going so far as to take part in a gang fight, which happened in last week's 3 episodes, but the ramifications are starting to build up. Up until the end of episode 8, I was really digging the new suit. Nothing made me dislike the suit, just spoiler, the suit gets totaled. Spider-Man fights the one of his arch enemies from the comics, Scorpion, which in the old Spider-Man the animated series, obviously if you don't know, it was a guy in a Scorpion costume with a tail that was not only powerful that could whip people down, but also it could spray acid. They don't do that here. Instead, the Scorpion tail at the tip of it is a blade that can cut through somebody. It works, and actually does follow the design of an actual scorpion. I think they did the whole acid thing in Spider-Man the Animated Series because, by all accounts, getting sprayed with acid, arguably much worse than getting stabbed, especially if you're sprayed with a lot of acid. So, and they also reveal that the mastermind behind all the tech that's been being used is by, I think I said this last week, by Dr. Otto Octavius, who becomes another one of Spider-Man's arch enemies, Dr. Octopus. And I like how they don't give him the robot arms yet, but he does use them. I don't want to give away how, but he does have the robot arms and he does use them. They're just not on his person at the moment. I love sort of like an interpretation like that, especially when you start to consider the fact that it's actually a callback to Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire Sam Raimi movie, where Dr. Octopus, played by the great Alfred Molina, was unconscious. They were trying to move the arms, but the arms have like a mind of its own, and it becomes one of the craziest and outright scary like moments in that movie. And I love the callback they do here. It's really good. I mean, it's not scary in this because, I mean, here's why it's not scary. Because what happens is the police find Dr. Octopus and like he's trying to get away, but like he's dancing around, he's having fun. He's like pressing a button here and there, and that's what's like causing the arms to act and like beat up the cops. And it's actually really funny. It's funny in a twisted way. Like, it's basically for those people like myself who kind of have a sick and twisted sense of humor. And if it's not your thing, I don't know how to help you. Spider-Man also suffers his first L, like serious L, at the hands of the Scorpion. And here's the thing, Hudson Thames does a really great job of portraying this, like, sort of angst that Spider-Man goes through because, you know, they're trying to play the story of, like, you know, you get knocked down, you gotta get right back up again. But it's technically also Spider-Man's fault that he gets hurt because he temporarily subdues the Scorpion, but he didn't make sure he stayed down. So when the Scorpion escaped, it didn't surprise me at all that Spider-Man got impaled. And also, what I can imagine, he broke his shoulder. Luckily, Norman Osborn got him out of there via the glider, which is a subtle reference to the Green Goblin, who Norman Osborn eventually becomes. I'm glad they're not sort of pushing that yet, because Green Goblin is arguably one of Spider-Man's greatest villains. But I'm glad, kind of like Batman to the Joker. Or Joker to the Batman, sorry. Or Lex Luthor to Superman. That sort of mentality. And, okay, it's very clear that they try to, they bring up Uncle Ben every now and again in the show, but this was the first time they really sort of hammered in how much of an influence that Uncle Ben would be if he was still alive. Because traditionally, if you don't know in the comics, Spider-Man gets his powers, he lets a bad guy get away, and that same bad guy is the one who kills Uncle Ben. Here, Uncle Ben died before the series begins, which I'm sure they can probably work that narrative in the story somehow. I don't know how they would, but I'm sure they could find a way. So they try and make Norman Osborn that sort of figure that, Peter needs. And he almost says that thing, if you don't know, the famous quote from Spider-Man is, with great power comes great responsibility. And after Spider-Man took that first L from Scorpion, Osborn says, with great power comes respect. Which technically isn't wrong. I mean, obviously that's not, I'm not endorsing that at all. But Osborn believes that after Peter lost, no one's going to respect Spider-Man. Which, I mean, listen, Spider-Man's beaten up a lot of, C and D rank thugs. Not really, there are people that are still going to respect Spider-Man, don't worry. But I get what he meant. Because remember, this takes place in a different version of the MCU. Basically, Captain America Civil War happens, but Spider-Man's not in it. With the severity of how they're enforcing the laws of the Sokovia Accords, and people like, Dr. Octavius making, tech to, enhance, supervillains. I get it. It's pretty difficult to, believe that if a superhero loses to anyone who uses this technology, that anyone could be a superhero with that technology. So, I get it. Also, before I talk about The Masked Singer, I love how Spider-Man wants to get back out there, which, yes, that's what we need. But he doesn't have a suit because the black and white suit got impaled. So Harry, being a true friend of Peter, went to the folks at Oscorp, as well as took a look at Peter's notes, and we get a small glimpse of what will be this suit. The classic red and blue. With some black and white, for the eyes and the webbing, of course. Overall, I am really digging the hell out of this show. I am. I think, Disney Plus got a hit with this. It used to be that Marvel definitely ruled the silver screen, where DC ruled the airwaves. With shows like this, Marvel's really giving DC some real competition. I guess it depends on... What's the name of that Batman show? Hold on. Hold on. It was called Batman Cape Crusader. Okay, darn it. I did a video on it too, darn it. I knew it was called Batman Cape Crusader and My Adventure with Superman. We'll have to see how Season 2 of the former and Season 3 of the latter plays out. But honestly, I am really digging the absolute crap out of the show. Speaking of shows I really dig, let's talk about The Masked Singer. Man, I tell you what. Rita Ora and Robin Thicke with Mario, who was the runner-up from the last season, doing Get Lucky by Daft Punk, which featured Pharrell Williams and Nile Rodgers. Man, what a way to kick off the season. And I love the costumes in this show so far. Honey Pot, love the design. He did Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake. And Did Just Give Me a Reason by Pink, featuring Nate Ruess, which, I mean, listen. Just Give Me a Reason might be Pink's most famous song. Paparazzo, which is essentially a guy with a giant camera on his head, did The Door by Teddy Williams. Fuzzy Peas did La Bamba by Richie Valens, which, in terms of entertainment value and fun, I'm really digging Fuzzy Peas. But hands down, the best performance of last night was Coral doing Mad World by Tears for Fears. I mean, listen, Fuzzy Peas definitely brought the fun. Paparazzo brought, like, the entertainment factors to why, like, these costumes are really good. And it's funny, I was watching the show with my folks, because we like watching the show, and we were surprised that at this point there's no ant costume yet. This is the first ant costume, so take that what you will. But Coral, hands down, was the best performance of the night. In fact, I'm going to go right now and say Coral's probably going to be the champion of Group A. Speaking of champions, I also asked for someone who's eliminated, who was the Honey Pot by the legendary comedian Cedric the Entertainer. Which, I mean, actually, I love how before this season a contestant gets eliminated. Before a contestant gets eliminated this season, they have a wall of suitcases, which features the biggest clue that star has. In this clue, it was a star, specifically representing a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which Cedric the Entertainer has. As well as the bees on the Honey Pot costume had fedoras on that. That was kind of cool. But yeah, man. Season 13. Love it. Love The Masked Singer, man. I can't wait to watch more. Not to mention, next week is going to be Shrek night. Which means we're going to be hearing a lot of Smash Mouth. We're going to hear All Star. We're going to hear Smash Mouth's rendition of I'm a Believer. Actually, hold on. Let me look up one thing. We'll probably hear Hallelujah by, hold on. Hallelujah by Rufus Wainwright. Obviously, I'm a Believer. On My Way by the Proclaimers. Best Years of Our Lives by the Baha Men. Man, I haven't heard the Baha Men in years. If you don't remember the Baha Men did Who Let the Dogs Out? I can't do more of that. But they're responsible for that song. Which reminds me, I love the Baha Men even now. For whatever reason, I just find those guys really fun. But I cannot get a hold of my favorite song anywhere. I gotta look it up on YouTube. It's my favorite Baha Men song is Accident, by the way. If you haven't heard that song, it's a lot of fun. You get to energized too. But I'll worry about Shrek Week next week. Right now, I can say, the season 1 finale of Your Friendly Neighborhood Starman's gonna be next week, as well as the fact we got Shrek Night next week for The Masked Singer. I tell you what, man, I'm excited. In fact, I think I'm about ready to take on tomorrow. But we'll get to that when we get to that. I hope you like this video. If you'd like to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video for all of you guys watching. Enjoy everything. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. And remember, for the years while talking to I'm always going to be here to London and always be back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby. Look out! Here comes your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.